The branches are smacking me in the head a bit. Army TV is visiting the 47th Mechanized Brigade Magura today. We've got a full unboxing of Uncle Sam's armored beast, the Abrams M1A1. The guys will tell us about the pros and cons. There are always cons, and how this tank is straight up a nightmare for our enemy.
The Abrams is an American main battle tank. The M1A1 is well known. Its biggest strengths are its accuracy, its excellent stabilization, and its maneuverability, despite its heavy weight.
Does this one have that depleted uranium armor?
Unfortunately, our version doesn't have that kind of armor. That's its biggest drawback right now. So, as a crew and as a battalion, the number one thing we'd ask from our American partners is dynamic armor. So we'd have protection not just on the sides, but also on the turret. That would increase our survival rate. This is American ARAT armor. It does the job. If an ATGM hits it, like a cornet or something, it generally works and absorbs the hit. The Americans also have a second layer of armor for this spot. It looks like tiles. It even works against tandem warheads, and it can go on the turret too. Yeah, we're asking.
A bit of goggles is enough.
Just a few days ago, we were handling various missions assigned by command. We're hitting both infantry and vehicles. The last one that stood out, we finished off a T-62 that had been stopped by an FPV drone. We rolled out and just finished it off. It's not going anywhere anymore.
Some US media wrote that the 47th pulled all their Abrams back because they weren't being used effectively.
Yeah, I saw that. Total nonsense. Don't let the enemy get their hopes up. It all depends on the situation, you know? We don't just do tank versus tank battles. If that were the case, a T-72 wouldn't even stand a chance next to an Abrams. The reality is tough. Russians have more troops, more gear, more everything, so we have to adapt. These tanks are meant to roll up and smash enemy vehicles in direct engagements.
And the rounds, are those the cool uranium ones?
Yeah, it has armor-piercing rounds with depleted uranium. They're great. Pierce through armor cleanly. We'd really like more variety from our American partners, especially high-explosive fragmentation shells. That'd let us handle more mission types. It's got thermal sights, both for the main gun and the .50 cal commander's machine gun. This tank is made for fighting both during the day and at night. The thermals work well, but keep in mind, the enemy's adapting too. They hunt us at night just like during the day.
These are tears of joy. From being the first journalist to ride in an Abrams? Kidding. It's just the wind, actually.
I'm the gunner. I aim, lock on, and fire.
Did it take long to learn the system?
The first time I saw the inside coming from a T-tank, I thought it'd take a month to learn it all. But actually, it's super fast. You can learn it in a week. This here is the Cadillac. It's for turret rotation. T-tanks rotate like this, but in the Abrams, it's like this. I had to retrain my muscle memory. Not this way, but that way. Here's the gunner's seat. The Cadillac is the turret control. This moves the turret. This adjusts the elevation of the main gun. This is the main sight. The Americans call it the GPS. Here's the thermal sight. If all the electronics fail, we use a backup optic. You can select shells, zoom levels, different operating modes, emergency, normal, manual. Nothing too complicated, really. The main gun is a 120mm smoothbore. Effective range, up to 4 kilometers.
Automatic transmission. We trained on it in Germany at a NATO base.
So you drive it like a scooter? Wow. They say the frontal armor isn't great. How does it feel on real missions?
People say it's the strongest ever. Zeus himself couldn't break it. But unfortunately, that's not true. We've faced major Russian assaults, rolled out to stop them. Was it successful? Sure. We ran right over those guys. If we had to go on foot, not so successful. It took a hit from a Lancet drone. Singed a little, but she still runs. It hit a tree, not the tank. If we were doing tank-on-tank battles, this would be the best model out there. But right now, it's not that kind of war.
Do you close this up during combat?
Nah, you can drive like that, but you'll get a concussion. The gun will still fire even if you don't seal it.
Not super comfy for you though, huh? How's the visibility from inside? For you as the driver?
Good, but only straight ahead. That's why we always go forward.
What's your top speed?
Last time I hit 65 kilometers per hour. You could push it to 72, but only downhill.
This drill's called Goodbye Knees. The first Abrams tanks arrived in Ukraine in September 2023. That was 31 vehicles. But for them to operate effectively, the proper protection systems had to be set up. Dimitro, the commander of this Abrams, shows us what was upgraded first.
So right here along the hull, you can see ARAT reactive armor blocks. This is standard US issued protection that our American partners supplied. The tanks were fitted with it almost right from the start when they arrived in Ukraine. Now, what you see higher up on the turret and down by the driver, these little bricks, that's Contact 1 reactive armor. We welded it on ourselves, figured out how to attach and arrange it. A lot of Americans, and not just them, laugh at this. There are tons of memes about how Ukrainians slap contact boxes onto everything, from tanks to F-16s. Honestly, it's weird to see them mock it because we know for a fact, this stuff saves lives and protects our gear.
Dimitro says he's been in the war since day one of the full-scale invasion. He started his combat path in the Avdiivka direction. He never expected to become the operator of this monster, but fate had other plans.
This tank to me is like a sniper rifle after basic training.
He trained in Germany through a US-arranged program for Ukrainian tankers. The US provided both the tanks and the instructors.
One thing, this tank is heavy. Its weight varies depending on the modification and what's inside. Let's say around 65 to 68 tons. Russian propaganda loves to push this myth.
50-year-old scrap metal. A machine that absolutely can't move off-road.
Reality shows that's nonsense. For its weight, it's super maneuverable and fast.
The Abrams is a real nightmare for the enemy. It's designed with crew safety and battlefield efficiency in mind. Compared to Soviet-era tanks, it has many technical advantages. For example, thermal imagers and laser rangefinders.
The night and thermal sights here are way better. We can spot enemy tanks, BMPs, or APCs up to 7 kilometers away, and hit targets up to 4 kilometers out.
It also has a commander's panoramic sight, integrated fire control, and optical systems that give better battlefield awareness and accuracy. Everything is digitized, which lets it work as part of a bigger, coordinated battlefield network. The Abrams crew has 4 members. 3 sit in the turret. This is the loader's position. He grabs shells weighing about, wow, probably around 25 to 30 kilograms. The reload interval can be as short as 6 to 7 seconds. They might fire 7 to 8, even 10 to 12 shots in a row. That loader must be jacked.
We added grills, mesh, and also Contact 1 armor. When we first started using Abrams, the main threat was anti-tank guided missiles. Several tanks got hit by ATGMs. When we didn't have protection, a missile could destroy the whole tank. It would hit the driver's side and exit through the back of the turret.
After every mission, the tank goes through a full inspection. Rarely does a vehicle come back untouched. Mikola, call sign Zozulia, is a mechanic driver. Right now, he's helping fix this one.
It got hit on the left side. We patched it up, welded the damage. There was a dent, but thank God she made it back. This baby's been through 3 battles already. Took 3 hits, and every time's different.
Zozulia says they just need to swap out 2 ARAT blocks, since their covers got blown off. And then the Abrams is ready to charge again. Despite all the debates over whether tanks are still useful in modern war, the people using them every day have a clear answer.
This is a seriously powerful machine, especially Abrams. When it rolls out for direct contact, trust me, the enemy is terrified, and it can do serious damage.
Thousands of destroyed Russian tanks speak for themselves. Ukrainians have not only mastered this tech, they've made it better.